up for me. What did I do to deserve this kind of love? What did I do to sit at your right hand? What did I do to deserve this kind of love? And God said, in that when we were yet sinners, He came. When we had no anointing, when we had no fame, when we had no grace, when we had no pride, He came. Nothing to make us proud, He came. No car, nothing, He came. Have you asked yourself that question? What did you do to deserve this kind of love? Wherever you are, lift up your hands and begin to bless Him. So it's good to dance, it's good to jump around, but sometimes it's good to reflect. In 1 minute, just begin to think about all the things God has done. I'm amazed, you came through for me. Open it wide. Open it wide. So worthy is the Lamb that sits upon the throne. Worthy is the Lamb that sits upon the throne. What did I do to deserve this kind of love? What did I do to sit at your right hand? What did I do to deserve this kind of love? I had no essence, I had no meaning. Lord, you showed up for me. I had no helper, I had no platform. Lord, you showed up for me. I call you unbeliever. I had no meaning, had no essence. Lord, you showed up. You had nothing, you had no meaning, and yet He showed up for you. What did you do to deserve this kind of love? What did you do to sit at His right hand? Worthy is the Lamb that sits upon the throne. It's called the lifter of men. He picks one that is down and sets him for the world to see. That is the God you came to serve. If it's that same God I came to serve, can you lift up your hands and open up your mouth last in other tongues? I wish I can hear people. Had no oil, had no anointing, Lord. What did you do to deserve this kind? It's not by works that any man should boast.
Union between two people.
Okay.
And it is an institution that God Himself set up for two people to come together in union to create a family, to create a bond between two people, and it is God's ordained.
Right. So it means that man did not create marriage.
No, man did
The
not.
source.
Yeah,
Okay.
the source of marriage is from God.
Okay.
So if you read the book of Genesis, marriage started from the book of Genesis, where God created Adam. And the Bible says, after God naming all the animals and giving them names and everything, God realized that for Adam there was no companion, there was nobody for him. And so God said that yes, he must create a companion for Adam. So God made Adam to sleep and took the rib and then created a man to also be a help to Adam. So marriage itself started from the Garden of Eden. It was God who ordained and instituted marriage. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, so if that is the case, if God is the source of marriage,
okay,
why do marriages fail?
Okay, now everything that God creates, the devil also has a counterfeit.
Okay.
The agenda of the devil is to make sure that marriages fail. And these days you see that there's a lot of divorce in the world. A lot of divorce are happening, and it is becoming so easy to divorce nowadays. You see, God has created the institution, but also the devil also has plans also to make sure he breaks marriages. So even though the institution came from God and God made it, the devil is, we should remember that when God created Adam and Eve, the first thing the devil did was to separate Adam from God, Adam and Eve from God.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were together and they were having fellowship with God, they were having union with God, and then the devil stepped in to break that union. So always the devil is looking for ways to break that union between man and God. So he comes in and destroys what God has instituted. He was there when God created Adam and Eve. So he knows about marriage. So he always, and sometimes one of the reasons why marriages break nowadays is because of misunderstanding, unforgiveness. People are not ready to forgive each other. A lot of things are happening, but we know that God says he hates divorce. So God, who created marriage, is saying that God, I hate divorce. So it's not something that is pleasant to God. So anything that goes contrary to marriage is against God.
Wow. I think we are learning. You're watching The Woman in You on Remote Radio, and we are live on Facebook. I want you to comment, share, and like. Well, talk about separation and the devil also in mind. When you look at couples, who is the one that the devil can use?
This question there, if you ask me this question,
You'll be biased.
You want me to be a little bit biased because I am a man. So of course I'll push it to the woman. But you see, let's look at the Bible in Genesis, okay? Because I am a reverend, I also want to base it on scriptures, okay? So if you look at the Bible, after Adam was created, God gave Adam instruction to give to Eve. But you see, before Eve came into the garden, Adam was living peacefully with all the animals.
Okay.
There was nothing like disobedience to God. But when Eve came in, Adam, when he saw Eve, he forgot to give Eve the instruction in the garden because the woman was too beautiful. Okay, so Eve caused Adam to sin. But I'm not saying here that it is the woman that the devil can use to cause. Both of them can be used. Divorce and marriage separation comes. Sometimes it comes from the woman, it comes from the man. So both of them, if any of them allow themselves, the devil there, he wants a vessel to use. So if you allow yourself, whether you're a man or woman, whether you're a boy, a girl, a child or whatever, if you allow yourself, the devil will pass through you to bring divorce and chaos into the marriage. So it is not about the man or it's not about the woman. Anyone who allow himself, just as God needs vessels to also allow themselves for him to use, the devil is also looking for vessels to use. So it is both divides.
Do we marry because of children?
Well, I would say we don't marry because of children, but children are part of marriage.
Okay.
We marry because of one, union, companionship, fellowship, togetherness. That is the reason why we marry. When God saw that Adam was alone, God created Eve for Adam. So we marry for companionship. God needed somebody to be a companion to Adam, because he realized that Adam had created the animals. And he knows the animals. I'm sure he plays with the lions, he plays with them. But he realized that Adam was behaving like animal, but he's not an animal, he's a man. Yeah. But he had no man to play with, he had no companion. So God said, let me create a human being for Adam to play with and not the animals. So God created marriage for companionship, for oneness, for unity, to enjoy the kind of institution God has created. So God created marriage for companionship.
Do we have Mr. or Mrs. Right as our life partners? Do we have something
Mr.
like
or Mrs. Right?
Yes.
In fact, there is no Mr. Right, there is no Mrs. Right.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people say, I'm waiting for my Mr. Right to arrive. I'm waiting for my Mrs. Right to arrive. There's no Mr. or Mrs. Right. Listen, marriage is two people who have come from two different backgrounds, who have two different views of mind, who have two different attitudes coming together to become one flesh. Now, everybody is coming with their own unique nature or character. So both of the two must complement each other, must work on each other. There is no perfect person on this earth. There's no perfect person. There's no perfect man, perfect woman. If you want a perfect man to marry, then you have to wait. When we all die and we go to heaven, then you ask God for an angel to marry. Because there is no perfect person to marry on this earth, but you work your marriage, you make it work, you work together. There is no perfect person. Everybody, when you marry, you see, sometimes when you marry is when you know that, so my wife can do this thing, so my husband can do this thing. Why didn't all this thing come in the relationship or the courtship, so that I can know? So both of you work on each other to become, because there are a lot of challenges in marriage. But if you can understand yourself and work together, you become Mr. Perfect and Mrs. Perfect and right in your own sight, in your own eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk of working marriage together.
Okay.
Can sex be one of them?
Ooh.
We are talking about marriage and sex on the woman in you.
Yeah, I'm very happy to come to this program, The Woman in You, in remote. You see, my specialty is when it comes to sex. It's my specialty. Kaduya Baya. My specialty. You see,
right on.
One of the things that the devil deceives couple, you see, marriage and sex goes together. Sex has been a topic of discussion in a lot of marriages, and the devil is stealing the joy in marriages by stealing the sex life in marriages. Sex is a connection, it's a bond. The more you have sex with your partner, the more there is this bond. Okay. There is this connection between the two partners. So if there is no sex in marriage, it brings a lot of, in fact, the devil brings a lot of challenges because of sex. A lot of marriages have been broken because of sex.
Okay.
The man is tired, the woman is not giving sex, the woman is tired, the man comes from work always and is tired. So listen, hey, if anybody, I get even a kinapopo, anybody at all, any carpenter, shoemaker who can satisfy me, I will go. But this thing is, even in church, sex is a challenge. And you see a lot of people going out as Christians and living certain lives that is not helping. So sex is very important to settle the matters in marriage. sex is very important. God, if it's not important, God will not create it.
Yeah. So can we say that lack of sex is the result of adultery in marriage?
I will not say lack of sex is the result in total. I will not say lack of sex is the result, because there are people with their own characters, filthy characters. There are people who, listen, I met a young man. I was going to fix my car, and I met a young man who is married. He's married with children and is working. This guy was too bold to tell me that he's flirting with 3 women.
Wow.
And so when I told the guy that, listen, I've been married for 8 years, I'm going to 9 years, I've been married and no woman has seen my nakedness, the guy was laughing at me. He said to me, really? I said, yes. He said, are you sure? He said, yes, because to him, it is normal. He's having sex all over. He's having sex with everywhere. Just having sex. So marriage does not stop anybody from promiscuity. And not having sex in marriage is not the reason for all those things. You see, because your wife, the man, I interviewed him and said, okay, so what you are doing, is it that your wife doesn't satisfy you? He say, use a word, excuse me to use this language. He say, Allah, this woman satisfies me very well. And I said, then why are you keeping all these people? Then he went on further and told me that, hey, you see this lady calling me, I'm also flirting with her, she's in my office. I said, this man, what are you doing? So the wife satisfied him, but he's going out again to have sex outside. So it is not sex, it's not the overall reason why people go out and then have sex outside marriage.
So how often can married couples have sex?
How often? In fact, to Prophet Emmanuel. In fact, to me,
yes.
I am very strong. So me, every day, if you give it to me, I will go.
What a
every day, if you give it to me, I will go. For me, yes. Because you see, there is no clear definition in the Bible or anywhere that states that you should have sex every day or once in a week or once in a month.
So mommy is dead.
But you see, one thing about us of mommy, my wife is that she's good.
Okay.
She's good.
Everywhere.
Oh, she will destroy you. She will mesmerize you. You yourself, you go run away.
Wow.
So you see, there's no stipulated time or whatever that you should be having sex. But as long as you have the strength to do it, it is very good to be doing frequently.
Is it advisable that you do it every day?
Well, I will not advise to do it every day, depending on the couple. Maybe because of health challenges, you may not do it every day. But if you have the strength, like me myself, I have the strength, I can go every day without getting tired. I can go every day without getting tired. So, in fact, if some people, because of their strength, their health, they can't do it. So that one, it is not stipulated or it's not advised. I won't say it is an advice for you to have sex every day. But in fact, if you can, you should have it. It's good. It brings the bond and the unity and the union together.
Let's talk of, since we are talking of sex here, you know, most women have their own fears that the more they make love the more they make love and they are married, they are going to have a lot of children. So is it good to do family planning as a child of God? Because we are talking about sex here, and you know, women have our own fears. You know, is it good? Is it good?
In fact, there has been a lot of notion about this family planning thing. In fact, Christians have really lambasted family planning. It is not good, it is not that, it is not this, it is not that. A lot of people have shared their view. But for me personally, listen, if you can't take care of children, it's not good to bring them to this world and let them suffer. And also, if you do abortion, then it is better you plan your family. It's part of family planning. It's part of planning. Because if I will not plan my marriage, plan my sex life, plan my childbirth life, and I just have children plenty, like 10, 20 children, and I can't take care of them. So for me personally, I don't see planning your birth as a sin. Yeah, because if you look at the Bible, I've not seen a clear scripture that says that if you do family planning, you will go to hell. Okay, there's no clear picture about that. So for me, it is not a bad thing to do. Amen.
Amen. Yes. You know, I'm just thinking that, you know, how will you feel when your woman is not satisfying you in bed? How will you feel as a husband? Yes.
How will I feel if my woman is not satisfied? Okay.
Yes. How will you feel as a husband? And also, let's dive into ministry.
Okay.
As a man of God.
Okay.
That your wife is not satisfying you. You know, how will you feel?
In fact, it is a very difficult thing being a man of God if your wife is not satisfying you.
Okay.
Or your husband, if I should say, is not satisfying if you are a woman or a man of God in the ministry. Because one, we as a man of God, you cannot put towel on your neck and go outside and get some small girl and just enjoy yourself. So if you are not getting the satisfaction you need, that means you'll be crying inside you. It will really affect you, because you're not getting the satisfaction you need, the enjoyment you need to have when it comes to sex. You are, in fact, you are devastated. But you can't complain to anybody. You can't also go out. So that makes it very, very dangerous. To the people in the world, they will just take their towel, they will just enter some one beer bar, corner some one lady, they are gone. They are gone. So you see, a lot of pastors are dying. They are dying. A lot of pastors' wives too are dying. They are dying, and they are dying inside them. So why, woman? Why would you give your husband sex? In fact, why won't you give the you know he's a pastor, he has gone to preach and he has come and he's on fire for the Lord and he's on fire in the house, and when he asks you, then why won't you give? Because you are pushing your husband to go and do something else.
Okay, now you know, I don't know, but sometimes some women also complain about one or two things. That sometimes they are men, like when they go out, they come, they are tired, they you know, some nunu sense somewhere, armpit somewhere, and then you want to hug and you want to kiss. Sometimes you're going to choose some money, somewhere with fete, you know, outside. So you got some money, and sometimes you see like the money somewhere in between your teeth and chalet. And the woman is refusing, and she's still saying that, you know, these are some of the things why I don't love making love with you. How do you deal with that?
In fact, if you're a man or you're a woman and you have such a situation, you must deal with it. Because you see, women are such that things put them off. Okay. If you are coming to a woman and you are going to eat some suya or some balango or some amane and your mouth is smelling jene or some garlic and your mouth is nunu scent and you come, no, you want to kiss, you want to touch, you want to do listen, if you were a man like that, you have to stop. When you come, you have to freshen up yourself, brush your teeth and be fresh. Listen, my wife is a typical example. Listen, she has denied me of sex several times. Sometimes you pay me and I'll go and sleep in the couch and be thinking about my whole self.
Why?
Because by the time I come home, I am tired and I don't want to bath. I just want to jump on the thing and then do the thing and go. But she's like, no, if you don't bath, you are not going to do it.
No contribution.
So sometimes I get so annoying. And sometimes if you don't, then your man will come. What do you mean? I am the man. Come on, cash in my failure. Cash in my failure. Again, master, if me, the thing is my ear. If I don't open, you don't go shop. You get what I mean? So please, if you are going to eat suya, if you are going to chop something, brush your teeth, put some perfume on your body. My wife likes perfume. It's unfortunate me too, I don't have plenty perfume. Put perfume on yourself. Perfume. If you don't have perfume, bath and put powder on yourself. Saturday night powder. Put it everywhere. Let everywhere smell fine. You are a man. You like in fact all the children should close their ears. You like blowjob, but your place is smelling. Your place is in. Who do you want to put his head there? The head there and do that for you?
Oh. Wonderful people.
Who want to put this in your mouth there and be doing that for you? Meanwhile, the thing is smelling.
Oh,
it's not easy.
You're listening to Remote Radio. This is the woman in you, and we are having fun learning at the same time. We want to know why the men, what they see in women they don't like, and the topic is marriage and sex. Prophet EMMANUEL ADJEI.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of dressing or costume would you like your wife to wear before bed?
Oh, my wife, dear me, I'm in a hurry. I'm not going to describe any dress for you. Be ready. Oh. If you wear pants alone and you sleep, so that when I'm coming, I'm going to run anything easy, smooth road.
What a shock.
Oh, smooth road. Smooth road. The road is clear. It's not now that you're going to wear. Okay, you can wear 90. That is, I mean, that is plain.
Doesn't move you at all.
It's plain. It's plain. You see, it's plain like that. You see all the bobbies and everything inside. So when you are lying there and I look at the creation of God and I admire the creation of God and I see all the contours and everything, my God, that is what you should be doing. That is the kind of dress you should be wearing. If you are sleeping on bed with your husband, why will you go and wear jeans? For what? For what? Empty yourself. If you wear G-string, wear it and sleep. Wear something that when I come and I open, it's easy. It's easy.
We're having time with the Lady Reverend Eleanor and also with Prophet EMMANUEL ADJEI, and we are learning a lot. You're watching The Woman in You, and I want to quote something from Maya Angelou. It says, each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. And so if you're a woman out there, I want you to know that you can make it. Just stand up for other women.
All right.
There are lots of women around you, and I know you can make impact. You're watching The Woman in You. We're still on the talk marriage and sex. Is it good to admire somebody? I'm not talking about lust. Is it good for a husband to admire another woman? Admire.
Okay. Admiration was placed in us by God. In fact, when God created everything, He said that it was good. He admired His creation.
Okay.
So for that one, you cannot take it from us as human beings. We see other woman and you admire that, oh, this woman is pretty. Like I can say, Mariska is in the studio here. She's a pretty woman with a free conscience, free mind. But if you lustfully admire somebody, that is the how do you call it? The point that it takes you to another level. Okay. But admiring somebody, simply admire. But sometimes you have to be careful where you admire and who you admire.
Where and
who you admire.
Tell us.
And in whose company you are.
Okay.
And in whose company you are and you are admiring. Because listen, one, who you admire. Let's say you are walking in town, or you are in an office, or you are in a place, you are eating with your wife, and then maybe your wife is some chingalinging with some flat bottles and all that, and then you walk and you see a woman with all the curves and everything, and in the restaurant or wherever you are, you turn like that. As the woman is passing, you are turning your watch. Then when you turn to your wife, say, hey, in fact, your wife will not, some women will not tell you, but sometimes they will be angry. They will be silent. So who you admire is very important. 2, where you admire. If you are working with your wife in and you go, in fact we Christians, we don't go to even clubs and whatever, you know, and you admire ladies rough, your wife may be angry. And the third thing I said is what who in whose presence? In your wife's presence or your husband's presence. You talk about even your ex. You talk about your ex that you dated 4 or 5 exes you've dated, and you admire them, and you do this, or you see a lady in the presence of your wife. And I remember one time I heard a man of God saying that when he is driving, he puts his wife's picture in front of his car, and then when the car is passing and he sees another woman and is admiring the woman, then he remember and watch the picture and say, my wife is the most beautiful woman in this world.
My mother is the best cook in the world.
And so as for we human beings, as far as we are human beings, we will admire.
Yeah.
But the mindset is what is important.
So can it lead to lust?
Usha too much, I can lead to lust. Usha you win. Job said, I have made a covenant with my eye once.
So the second one.
Hey,
is a bad look.
I'm my pow. If you want to look at it and check it well. And, but sometimes, Lady Reverend, you can look at it once, but it's long.
But the eye is open, so
no, but somebody's one is long. You look at, so it's a 130. If I look at, it's 1 year long.
A few seconds, not
wait, this was once.
Yeah.
This once. The second one is a sin. But once. So in fact, as for that one here, try not to be doing that, and you have a healthy life.
Premarital sex. What's your take on that?
Premarital sex. In fact, this thing, ya can't so kolana munjai. Ampa ya can't so kolana munjai. Almost always your magedem sa. Because premarital sex is not good. Prima, say see o kakra na amafo beka dey say na manso anhwa meye dey hu say garden na befu ana mfu say manso anhwa say meye thank you for giving me water. Oh remote, you are good. Say manso anhwa meye dey hu say this is how it is. But listen, premarital sex has really destroyed a lot of young ladies and young men.
Okay.
This guy I was talking about that I met in the mechanic shop, he was telling me a story. He said, listen, I wouldn't have said this thing, but I have to say it. He said, when he was young, the mother brought a maid, a lady, into their home.
Okay.
He said that is the genesis of all his problem. Okay. The lady, not knowing, the lady was Shewaga. So as young as he was sleeping with the lady without the notice of his parents. He said he slept with the lady until he grew up.
Wow.
So as young as he was having an affair with the lady, and the lady was teaching him because he was young. So that thing has affected him mentally, so that he even as he's married, he is still desiring extramarital affairs.
Okay.
So premarital sex, it is biblically, we are talking as Christians, premarital sex, it is not biblical and it is not good, because it destroys your foundation. There's pride in having you to be married, and you open up your treasures and your husband will pass through the waters.
Okay, so friends in marriage. Can you tell us something about that.
Friends in marriage.
Yes.
In fact,
In general,
if you are married,
whether good friend or bad friend.
if you are married, you have to be selective of the friends you have. If you are married, as a man or a woman, you have to be selective. One, you can also have a lot of friends who are not married, and the advice they give you is not advice. If you talk about marriage, because they are not married, they don't understand. They are having their life, their free lives, having sex and all that, so they don't see what you see in marriage.
Okay.
So friends in marriage, one, they are important and they are also not important. Why am I saying this? There are some friends, when they come into your marriage, they make your marriage work. The advice they give you, they help you grow. They help your marriage to stand. They help you a lot. The kind of conversation you have are very helpful advice. But some of them, when you have issue, you tell them, the first thing they tell you, leave that man. Leave that man. He is like this. He is like that. They destroy marriage. So I say, if you are married, you have to be selective. The kind of people who counsel you, the kind of friends you walk with. The Bible says, show me your friend, and I'll show you what? Your character. Yeah. Show me your friend. Show me who you have. Show me your friend. Because you can't come to my marriage or be my friend when all the advice you give me is to leave marriage, is to forget about marriage, is to have fun outside marriage. You can't be my friend.
How wise can we deal with quarrelsome in-laws?
Quarrelsome in-laws, in fact.
We're talking about marriage and sex.
In fact, it is a very crucial thing. Quarrelsome in-laws. Some of them can even make you die. They can kill you. In fact, but you have to be wise. You have to pray. You have to pray to God. Believe in God and ask the Holy Spirit to help you. Because I've seen a quarrelsome, how do you call it, in-law, very quarrelsome. But this lady took the time, went to God, prayed, and God came through. At the end of the day, they became best of friends. So quarrelsome in-laws, there is something that is pushing the in-law to react.
Sananya kapatiada ashada balakabaya. I'm amazed by all you do. I'm amazed you came through for me. Even in my darkest moment, Baba, you lit up my world. I'm amazed by how you care. I'm amazed you're so full of love. You've been good from distant past, and yet you're still doing good. Obinigwe, Obinigwe, Obinigwe. Every day you come through for me. I had no essence, had no meaning, Lord. You showed up for me. What did I do to deserve this kind of love? What did I do to sit at your right hand? What did I do to deserve this kind of love? Anyana, Samala showed up for me. Obinigwe, Obinigwe, Shani Manema Kopeleta. Had no essence, I had no meaning, Lord. You came through for me. I had no standard, I had no helper, Lord. You showed up for me. What did I do to deserve this kind of love? What did I do to sit at your right hand? What did I do to deserve this kind of love?